Okay, so tonight we're just going to have a little family huddle and we're going to talk about some really important things with February. I was just saying, like, we haven't done a team call, which feels like it's been forever, but we've had these awesome trainings, the training series that we've been doing, and I will send the recording. I just think that it is so important. You guys are in crazy momentum. And we all know that really everything comes down to momentum and volume. So I want to give you a little trick, 2 different ways that you can get some really good momentum and volume this month. And I really want to explain the purchase plus discount and how you can customize this and like what it means, how to use it, and how to understand it, because it honestly took me like probably over a year to understand like what it really meant. And it has been a huge piece of our success, especially because I feel like people kind of wait around for flash sales. And then when the flash sale ends, it's like, okay, I got to wait all week and I've got to get all this volume. If you have a goal like MMP is kind of what I'm going to talk about, because it's the easiest thing to break down. And so, you've got 1,200 in this volume that you need to hit. And then all week goes by and sometimes we don't make a sale, but really it's like the best time to do it. So hang on one second. I need to change the settings on my phone real quick because it keeps turning off on me. So I'm really going to dive into purchase plus discount. What does it mean? How to customize it, and a insane sale, okay, that you can do this month with the product of the month. And I'm going to break down the volume for it. So here's the thing. When we have sales, hang on, I'm so sorry. Can you guys mute? I get very easily distracted. There we go. Okay, so when we have sales with Monet and they send the email out, if you guys have noticed, we typically do not use the verbiage that they use. And there's a trip next weekend in Cancun. It's an incentive trip. It's like a leadership trip, and I'm actually going to be speaking at it. And the topic that I'm speaking on is they literally want me to talk about flash sales and verbiage and how we do what we do, because we honestly do more volume than any other team. And the reason, I think, for 2 things is that verbiage is so important, because a confused mind is always going to say no. So let's just use, for example, if the sale is like, spend $84 and then choose 3 products from this list. Okay. That is so broad, and giving the customer too many options is honestly overwhelming and confusing. So the way that we typically do is we say, okay, well, let's look at this and see how we can actually sell a solution. Okay. And what is the solution going to involve? So typically, if it's spend $84, you could do one of 2 things. You could say, pick your custom shampoo and conditioner, or buy a Rejuvenique oil, and then I literally pick what 3 items already from the list, instead of giving them all these options. Because again, if they have too many options, it can be a good thing, but it's very overwhelming. And they're like, well, gosh, I don't know what to pick. Send me the list. And then there's so much communication back and forth that you almost lose the momentum in the conversation. So I will specifically say, here's your bundle. This weekend, you can buy your shampoo and conditioner, and you can get a thermal spray, a leave-in, and a finisher for $30, because that's like crystal clear. It's easy to understand. You're selling a solution. They know exactly what they're getting. And it's momentum and repetition for you, because when you go through your business, you're going to find that a lot of it is repetition. You're going to start getting a lot of similar consults. You're going to really start recommending a lot of the same products. So this just honestly helps you too. It helps you get better and more confident with each conversation, because you're literally repeating the same solution. Okay. And you can obviously tailor the shampoo and conditioner part. That's easy. That's the only part that they're really choosing with you. Okay. So that's one reason why when we drop a sale, that if we send the FAQ, it's important to go through and read that, so you understand, like, when does the sale start? When does the sale finish? Is there anything excluded? What's included? You know what I mean? So that you can start feeling confident in your business, because you might say, well, I would rather have the curl cream, for instance, like for Brenna, like if she's like all about the curly girls. So if the curl cream is involved, she might want to say that over the thermal spray. So it's important to go through the FAQ, but then also pay attention to the way that we send the verbiage and look at it, and you'll start to figure it out. And it's crazy because to me, like, I almost feel uncomfortable with this topic, honestly, because to me, it seems like common sense, right? Like, it's like, this is way too broad. We need to narrow it down, attract a certain audience, and give them an easy solution. But the only reason why it seems like that to me is because for so long, I've practiced doing it that way. So same thing for you and your business. When we send the information, look at it and say, okay, I see now it's spend 84, but I'm providing a bundle. And then these are the options that they can choose from. So I would like to pick these 3 options to talk to my specific audience. Exactly like what Tennessee Taylor just said. When you try to speak to everyone, essentially you're not speaking to anyone. So you have to really figure out, who are you speaking to? And this for me took a long time too. And when I realized like I was really overcomplicating it, I need to try to talk to the girl that has my hair when I started Monat. It was really oily. I had to wash my hair every single day. It was so unmanageable. Like all the problems that I had is all the problems that I want to solve for somebody now. So think about you when you started, or if you just started, what is your goal with your hair? What it's had to have done something. Like, are you going longer between washes? Talk about, again, another tip, always sell the solution. So not just with the bundle that you're providing, but what if the product's done for you? Like when I started, I wasn't like, hey, I'm selling Monat. This is what I'm selling. I'm selling this. We have this. I was like, I cannot get over my hair right now. This is literally day 3 hair. Not right now, good Lord. But when I started, I was on my story and I'm like, this is day 3 hair. I can't believe what it looks like right now. I can't get over this dry shampoo that I'm using. Like, talk about what it's doing for you. That is the genuine, authentic part of what we do. Instead of just saying like, oh my gosh, you need this oil. What do you do with the oil? Are you doing an oil treatment tonight? Why do you love it? What do you feel like it's done for your hair? Those are the things that people want to hear. So now let's talk about the Purchase Plus part. So I have a sale pulled up. Sale, I keep saying sale, I don't want to confuse you guys. Once the weekend comes and goes, because we will have an official sale from Monat. So when Monday comes around, or whenever the sale ends, okay, it's very important. Like if any of you have looked at my stories today, I think I've signed almost 10 VIPs today because I customized a sale with Purchase Plus. So what I did is I went into my back office and I hit enroll VIP, and I added the clinical system. So it's the shampoo, the conditioner, and the serum. And then I added the Rejuva beads because to me, that's a full circle system. I don't ever want anyone checking out if they're going to get shampoo and conditioner without the leave-in. And that's my typical thing is shampoo, conditioner, serum, leave-in. Then what I did was I added the CBD clay mask. And this is only for today. I only did this for today, but I added the CBD clay mask. And when you look at the bottom of the Purchase Plus, this is what is so important with this, is that when you look at the bottom, it's going to say whatever it's taking off the sale, right? So if it's taking off $30, look up in the cart and say, how can I customize this? You could get Rejuva beads for $20. You can get the clay mask for free and the Rejuva beads for $30. Like just do the math and look at it and say, how can I customize this? Because people love a sale. They love to get things for free. They love to know they're getting money off of it. So whenever we have a sale email from Monat, if we don't have that going on, there is always a sale because we have Purchase Plus discount. That is really, like, if you're new here, Purchase Plus discount is something incredible that they do, that when you spend more money, you save more money. So if they get a full system and it says that it's taking off $45, they're getting their conditioner essentially for $3. Like you just literally will look at it and you'll see exactly what I'm saying after listening to this and looking at the visual of it. It makes total sense. And it's an incredible feature that I think really gets overlooked a lot, because during the week I am always pushing, buy this and get this, do this and you get this. So After the weekend, I want to explain something very important, because again, going back to what I said in the beginning, everything in this business, if you want to really start hitting ranks and helping girls on your team hit ranks, you've got to have the volume. It's a team effort. So I'm going to implement this as if you were trying to hit MMP. So hitting MMP, the way that we really have seen the success that we have is that from the get-go, you really need to take the initiative to make up your group volume yourself. Okay. So like when you're looking at your chart, you see that there's two lines. There's one that says PV. There's one that says GV. PV is personal volume. That comes from anything you buy, any VIP that signs up, anything like that goes into your PV. Your group volume is your group. So your group would be any market partners that you've signed plus yourself. So whatever your group volume is for MMP, it's 1,200. You should really shoot for the sky and go for your PV, because what happens is when you set that standard for yourself, you're not relying on other people to hit your goals, right? Because now you can go all the way up to A and B without needing any market partners. So you can get in a good rhythm of this is the way that we do it. And then when you're growing your team, your girls are going to do the same thing. It builds your confidence. It builds your paychecks. Building your confidence is going to attract more customers and more business. It's the most important piece of the foundation that also I feel like really gets overlooked. Okay. So going for MMP, 1,200 is the goal. There's 4 weeks in the month. So every single week, your goal is 300. Okay. So this cart that we have put together, it literally blows my mind. The PV from this cart is 325, which is insanity for one sale. One sale, 325. That literally takes your whole week of your requirement. You know, it's not required, but if you're trying to get anywhere in this business, you should have personal goals, right? So 325 is the PV for this sale. The cost for the customer is, let me pull it up. Cost for the customer is $222. Okay. But listen to me. When I started, anything over $80, I was like, oh, that's like way too expensive. I can't show this cart to this girl. She's going to say, I would even say, I know it's really expensive, but okay, have confidence, because $200 is $200. It is a lot, right? But how long do these products last, people? 5-6 months. And in this specific cart, they're getting whatever system shampoo and conditioner you want to put. Okay. It's a shampoo, a conditioner, the thickening serum, the Rejuva beads. And this is the very, very, very important part. The product of the month this month is the Love Your Body Duo. So it's the wash and, correct me if I'm wrong, the lotion, right? Okay. So the wash and the lotion is in the duo. That little product of the month is almost 200 in volume. Okay. So getting your confidence up and presenting this to someone as, hang on, let me get my verbiage here. Hang on. So you could say this and you could post this on your story and say it to the customer. Okay. Buy my thickening system and split end mender and receive, and I'll send this to WhatsApp after too, if you miss it. Okay. Buy my thickening system and split end mender and receive a luxury in shower anti-aging duo for $4. The reason they get it for $4 is because the purchase plus discount, because when you put all that in the cart, it takes off almost $70 with the purchase plus discount. Okay. And the, where is it? So it's $67.50. And the Love Your Body Duo is $71 if you were to just add it on itself. So now they have that whole system, and verbiage is everything. The way that you say it, the way that you describe it, I'm always like anti-aging, luxury, all the things that we want, right? So when you have this system all together, over 300 in volume from one sale from this system. Okay. So if you are going for MMP, or you are trying to help people achieve MMP, you need 4 sales for the whole month and you are at your rank. And honestly, most of my carts are around this price. And to be coming from someone who in the beginning, like I said, I would literally say to people, if it was $100, I know it's a lot of money, but you know, they last long and they're really good. Like, I am never saying anything about the price. I don't ask. I don't say anything about anything. I present to them what the products are and I say the price. And I would say in this instance, you know, you're going to get my thickening system, you're going to get the split end mender, and then you're going to get the anti-aging body duo for $4. Plus they get a free product for being a new VIP. It's around $200 with tax or whatever, $220 with tax. Products last between, you know, 4.5 to 6 months, depending on how often you wash your hair. Let me know when you want me to make the cart and I'll put it together for you. Okay, so this is a huge, huge advantage. Now, this isn't the only thing that you can do. I want you guys to know that, but I just want to show you the comparison that if you have a customer who's like, oh my gosh, like I'm really dealing with this and that. I'll read your questions in 1 second because I want to answer them. You know, I'm really dealing with this and that, and you guys are talking and you're putting a bundle together for them, like present it. Okay. If it's somebody who comes to you for a specific thing, like if they just want the oil, obviously we're not going to turn away, like do whatever you need to do for your customers. But for reference now, the Rejuvenique oil is 100 PV. Okay. This one sale is 325. So if you were going to hit MMP just off of the oil, it would take 12 oils to hit MMP versus this is going to take 4 sales. So even if you did 1 of them or 2 of them, that's literally half of your requirement. Okay. And then, like I said, don't feel like this is the only way, but I think it's a huge way and a huge advantage to launch forward this month, especially in the beginning. You know, if you're like, well, gosh, I really want to hit this like goal, but I don't have 8 people that I know to talk to. You find 4 people. And I think that this was relating to what I'm talking to. I'm going to read the question real quick. It says, if someone says it's too much, what's something good to say back? So in this instance, again, don't ever let your confidence dwindle from the conversation. So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, that's too much. And I'm like, hey, well, listen, this is the great job. This is the great part about my job is that I can customize it to your needs. And these are just going to be my top recommendations, but I can cater to you. So what is your idea of what you'd like to spend? And you can let, you know, put the ball in their court at that point. And then just kind of like, I would honestly recommend going to your upline at that point, or in WhatsApp and like asking for help on verbiage after you say that. Like if they don't respond, be the queen of following up. I will always follow up with people and just say, hey, you know, I just wanted to check back in. I want to make sure that I get exactly what you need at the price that is ideal for you. So that's where the good part is. Like, see, if you start with the oil or you start with just shampoo and conditioner, there's no going up. They only want to go down. So I'm always like oil, serum, split end mender, I'm like all the fixes, everything that's going to fix everything. Because most of the time, again, this is going to come with practice and with confidence, but when they feel that from you and you're selling the solution, their answer is yes, because they want you to fix their problem. And that is really what we do. Because I am not a salesperson. Like I don't even think about sales with what we do. It's service and selling a solution. So I really, really, really wanted to go over the Purchase Plus, because I promise you, we are one of a kind. They would not be asking me to speak about it. Like this is a huge thing to implement into your business, because all week long, I've got questions like from other teams, like, how do we have a sale? Did I miss something? What's the sale? Yes, selling the value of the product, not the price. So think about that too, is that, I mean, you want quality, right? And so I don't ever bring up the price until it's time to make the cart. And I tell them right beforehand. I think I kind of went over this on my VIP call, but I give them the solution and then I let them know the price and how long it's going to last. Please let me know when you're ready and I can put it together for you. Okay. Let me look at my notes real quick and see. I am going to have Brit come in a second. the most important thing, I did have somebody say, can you talk about how to really captivate people's attention? Since it seems like everyone is selling something on Instagram. I think that my VIP call that I did a couple weeks ago, it really comes down to you, because think about how many people really sell Monat and they work their business in Monat. You have to really let your personality come through. I don't even think it's necessarily like, you know, being the most creative and the most different, like your originality and your personality is going to shine through what you're doing, and people that are meant for you are going to come to you. I promise you. And that is the most true thing I can say, is that the people that are meant for you will come to you. So be confident and really dig deep into your why and your audience. Who do you want to help? Who do you want to attract? Like, I feel like once I figured that out with the business, because a few times I had market partners sign up and I was very confused, and I was having like this like identity kind of crisis, because I was like, why am I attracting people like this? Like, is this what I'm putting off? Because I want to make sure that I'm putting off the right energy to make sure that they know it does take consistency, and it does take hard work, and it does take passion, and it does take, you know, the grind and the hustle to be consistent and successful with this. Like, you can't just sign up and just not do anything and then just say, well, you know, I'm not successful, I'm not seeing results. Like, I want to make sure I'm attracting the right people. So same thing with your VIPs and with your business partners. You know, you are literally setting the tone for what it takes to be successful. And again, I'm very redundant because I talked about this on the VIP call too, but your VIPs are most likely going to be your business partners, because you want to make sure that you are giving them the ultimate experience. Okay. 90% of my business partners were my VIPs or a VIP before. So just know that the whole experience is what you're giving them, and you are showing them like, oh my gosh, I could do this. And that's the great part of it. That's what we want to do. We want to help people build their confidence and make money and love helping other people. We love what we do, right? So I'm going to have Brit come in real quick, and I'm going to look over my notes again to make sure I don't miss anything. But I wanted her to touch on lately, her and Kirsten both. And just briefly, y'all can talk for like 5 minutes. I don't want to take up any of you guys' time tonight, but just really about niching down. Like, what have you changed recently, and what have you found? And maybe, you know, how long did it take you, like, to really say like, oh my gosh, okay, I feel like I am in a groove now. Britt, are you there, baby? I can't see you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I see you. Okay.
Hi, guys. So I feel like this is something I really wanted to touch on, because I feel like I've kind of gone back and forth constantly. Can you guys hear me well, by the way? I'm like at my dining room table.
No, I can hear you good.
Okay. It's something that I've really gone back and forth on, because I've done the whole consistent like reels, 30 reels in 30 days. Like, I've probably done that 3 times. But I've never nailed down what audience I'm speaking to. And Jade literally said it at the beginning of the call, like, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. And I always had this like combo in my content of like, oh, half of it's funny, and then half of it's about hair, and the other half is, it had nothing to do with like what my brand was. So I was realizing, I wasn't liking making content because it felt very overwhelming. It's hard when you're taking in so much information. It really is information overload. And I found myself like falling down these rabbit holes on TikTok and Instagram, because I was just constantly looking for inspiration, and I was consuming and not creating. So Jade really helped push me consistently to be like, stop consuming what you've got, and just whatever you have written down, just do it. Just go out and do it. So there was quite a few times where I just started doing that, even though I wasn't niched down at the time, but it really helped me kind of like put the pedal to the metal and get comfortable with being consistent in my business. And I felt a huge uptick in my business in like November-ish, like around the holidays. I was super consistent with posting. And what do you know, the second I started falling off because I was moving, I was stressed, I was doing all the things. And it just came down to like, I didn't post a reel for 5 days at a time. Like, my engagement tanked. So I decided, after I had moved into my new place in the beginning of January, I told Jade, I'm like, I'm going to be super consistent this month. I'm going to fully niche down and I'm going to see where it takes me. So I fully dedicated to talk about education. So I know Jade touches a lot on hair. I also touch a lot on hair, but I also have a phenomenal skin transformation. So for me, I was like, I don't want to cut out such a large part of my audience because I have results to show for that, like really good results. And a lot of my VIPs are on skincare. So I know I can add that value. So I decided to focus on education. And so if you guys have seen on my stories and stuff and on my feed, I've been posting about my myth series. And this is just because I feel like if you kind of call them on their bluff, like, I know this is what you're thinking, but you're wrong. And then you kind of educate them on why that is, but in a respectful way, speaking factually, they're much more open to hearing about a negative topic. And I wanted it to be something where I can add value to other market partners as well. And guess what? I've had probably in the last 2 weeks, I think probably over 1,000 shares on my stuff from just a market partner sharing my things, saying, oh my God, this has been so helpful. And it's nice because it also fills up your cup. Like I've got market partners, like I'm just talking about these myths and whatnot. I've got market partners messaging me saying, you're just so genuine. I can feel it in these. And I really appreciate you being able to so seamlessly talk about a really tough topic. And it's so nice to see. And you've really helped me work through a hard time in my business. I'm like, thank you. Like such imposter syndrome. It feels so weird, but those little wins will help build up your confidence. And Jade just said the other day, she's like, they always have a plan. She's like, I planned to sign up all these VIPs to have them transition to market partners this month, right? So my goal was, even if I'm attracting market partners, Instagram's algorithm doesn't know they're market partners. It knows, oh, these are girls that are into hair care. These are girls that are into beauty. So if I'm getting a lot of engagement from market partners and they're sharing my content and commenting and all this stuff, it's going to keep pushing like my stuff out to other girls who are into those topics as well. And I've been getting quite a big influx of random people that don't even follow me DMing me for consultations and being like, oh, I saw your reel. Oh, I saw this. And because I've kind of already gone over their objection, they have none. Like they come in ready to go. Like Jade said, it's like if their objection is price, what are they going to do if you tell them what the price is? Like from the get-go, before they even come to you, they're not going to come to you at that point, So I just stopped tiptoeing around my content to be like, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to whatever. It was like, no, I'm going to say what I need to say. I'm going to get the ball out there and rolling because I don't want to waste my time. So instead of posting content that was kind of, I don't want to say shady, it was like I was holding back from either what the price was or what's out there about the products. And so once I was able to kind of put that on the table, the people who were just on the fence were blown over. Like a slight breeze just came through and they were like, okay, I'm ready. And guess what? My face was the one that was on there that gave them that confidence to do so. So who did they come to? Me. So that's something I think is really important for you guys to think about is what is fun content for you to make that you're passionate about? Because like Jade said, your personality is what shines through, but your passion is also what shines through. So like she mentioned Brenna with her curly hair, like Brenna's not going to come on and talk about the skincare all the time if curls are her thing. You know what I mean? Then you've got Brittany Berry who talks about skincare and curls. Like skincare is a big thing for her, but so is curls. So it's like she's not going to limit herself to one or the other. Like you have to find like what works for you, because when people can feel your passion, that's what's going to attract them to you. You just throwing your face up isn't going to do much. But also don't think you have to go in depth with your content and spend an hour making a reel. Jade literally will take 6 seconds sometimes to just like voice something over and throw some text and she's done. And I laugh because I'm just like, oh my God, like I remember the days of spending like 3 hours just taking the videos, editing it down, doing try on hauls with clothing, even though that had nothing to do with my business because I wanted people to come to my page. And I think it just really shows working smarter, not harder. Like you don't have to spend hours a day making content that's going to attract people and that speaks to you and your brand. There are times where I definitely do like a get ready with me, but it's like, I'm already getting ready. Why would I not just document everything and then take some time to edit it? You know what I mean? So just be intentional. I think niching down has been the biggest change for me that I've seen success with, because it really helps brand myself. And I told the girls in our leaders chat the other day, I was like, I think that the thing with social media is that people realize how much you can blow smoke up their butts now. Like, it's kind of just become a thing. So people are looking for people who are masters at their skill. So when you are niching down, they see you as a professional, whether you just own your own little shampoo business or not. You're educated, and you're going to come off educated, and you're going to come off confident, and you're going to come off like this is the best fucking product anybody has ever used on their hair. And people will feel that, and they're going to see your results, and they're going to see the people on your team's results, and they're going to see how you talk about it. And that's what's going to sell them. Educate and demonstrate, like we always say. And that is my tips.
So awesome. Thank you so much. Kirsten, I saw you, like, I'm sure she said stuff that you were wanting to touch on.
I mean, I'm like, what do you guys need me for?
No, but like you're like,
no, I'm teasing. No, I
too.
I agree with everything. I mean, half of what I had written down on this paper to talk about, Brittany, you just like killed it all. So I'm
sorry. I love you.
But she is right. Like, niching down. I was such a hard head about niching down, about being a hairstylist, and Jade would ride my butt every single day. Like, Kirsten, I don't understand why you're not doing it. And I feel like as a hairstylist, this is probably like something you've never heard before. Like, you get lost in the sauce with Monat, because there are so many girls that are not hairstylists that are Monat. So you feel like you have to fall into this, like, I'm a Monat girl, this is what I do on your feed. So it just took me a long time to find myself in it, even though I'm known I'm a hairstylist. Obviously, I'm pretty proud of it. I have a salon, all those things, but like, I don't know why it was like such a disconnect for me to figure it out on social media until, I don't know, I just like saw this one random reel and it like totally clicked with me. And I think it was I'll say it once and I'll say it again one, and I put like, I'm a Monat hairstylist, whatever, and it blew up. And I was like, that is my niche at this point, like speaking out about Monat as a stylist, not just like educating on products, but like kind of speaking out about like the whole like horrible persona of hairstylists have against our business. And I have, like you said, so many shares, and it's Monat girls writing me left and right. But just like Brit said, it's engagement. And Instagram doesn't know where it's coming from, and people are liking your stuff. I have hairstylists contact me all the time now. I literally have to, at this point, say, are you already a market partner, before I get too deep into a conversation with these people, because half the time they're asking me for all these details and stuff. And of course, I don't need to spend my time on those people if they're not in my downline. But it's just, it feels good. Like Britt said, it's a freaking ego stroke, and you're like, yes, this is working. I actually have people coming to me, whether they're already a market partner or not. At least I feel like I have, people coming to me. And now that I'm like presenting myself as this like confident stylist with Monat, I have VIPs reaching out to me for my reels. I have been doing reels consistently, just like Britt said, for like a long time, a reel a day, but I was lost in the sauce, and I wasn't consistent on anything. Like, it was just anything that sparked my interest. I was stressed about making reels because I didn't know what I was doing next, and I just didn't have a purpose, I felt, with them. So now that I will only search reels that I'm like, how can I make this speak out about being a Monat hairstylist? That is like my first thought for every reel that I try to make. And if I can't find something good about that, then I do my education reels. But what I find that's bringing me traction is just still speaking out about Monat as a stylist. So, like they said, you can't speak to everybody. You have to speak to your specific hair type, or your hair type.
Well, that too.
Your specific person, though, like, because I was terrified that if I was only speaking to hairstylists, that other people wouldn't come to me like that aren't hairstylists, and I'd shun them away because they'd be like, well, she's a stylist, I'm not, I can't do this. That, I think, was one of my biggest fears too. But I've actually since then still had other people reach out to me in other MLMs or whatever. This looks like so much more fun than where I'm working at, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I feel like y'all touched on everything, and I don't really have anything else to say, but cover photos too. I know that was gone over on a real thing, but that niching down with cover photos, that niche down and tell people what they're looking at, is huge. Those two things like really changed. And I've gained thousands of, I'm at 5K now, or no, I'm not. I'm at almost 5K, something like that. And I was sitting at 2,800 followers for a long time, but ever since just getting all those shares, like I've started to grow. And again, it's probably Monet girls, but they are boosting that algorithm for me. So I will take it.
In less than a month, guys. She's not going to toot her own horn like that, but since January,
I've
She's gained that many.
doubled followers. Yeah, basically.
insanity.
So awesome. So, the moral of the story here is like, just have fun with it. And trust me when I tell you, everything is content, whether you do it on your stories or in a reel. If you are doing an oil treatment, you better not do it and not have the camera up. I will literally be like, oh shoot, hang on, sit my phone up before I even put my dry shampoo in, because you can go back, put that in your story and make a reel. And that really, the golden nugget is that when you say, I cannot believe that this is day 3 hair. I said that for the first year of my business. Like, people are like, what? Day 3? I can't even go a day without washing. I can't, what dry shampoo is that? I hate my dry shampoo. The simplest things. I was like, I need to know all the ingredients. These girls are talking about, little did I know when I started, all these SCDs were talking about ingredients and formulas. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed. Like, I can't learn all this stuff and talk about all this stuff that makes me uncomfortable. And little did I know, half of you guys are blowing them out of the water in PV, because it's the simple things. Simple. So if you can be consistent every day with one reel or getting on your story, do that. Okay. Whoops, my iPad's dying. Do what you can be consistent with. So don't say, oh, I'm going to post 3 reels a day and get on my story. If you can't do that for 60 days without skipping a beat, don't do that. Do what you can be consistent with. If you can show up on your story once a day, do that. If you can post a reel once a day, do that. Be confident, have fun with it, figure out who you want to talk to, and don't put so much pressure on yourself, because it should be fun. Okay. We want to help people. We want to make money. We want this to be like a great thing. So I hope that was helpful.
Can I say one more thing, my love? Just Kirsten saying the cover photo. Yes. Guys, make sure that you find what time works for you to be posting, because it is completely different based off of where your followers are and where you are in the country. And one thing I was doing wrong that Jade had mentioned, and it's actually changed the game for my engagement, is post before the time you're supposed to, like what it says your peak time is. She's like, I like to give it time to warm up. And it made me laugh that day. But I started doing it, and I swear it's made such a difference. Like, even like an hour or 2 before, like if noon is your prime time, post at 10 a.m. But be consistent with that, because people start looking for your content around that time of day as well. And it just gives you more engagement. I just wanted to say that.
Yes, perfect. So let's crush it this month. Okay. If you guys have any questions, I'm not going to send it tonight, because I know I don't know anything. There might be a sale coming. So after the sale ends, then we can like go through the week and say all the things about the anti-aging duo. And again, when you have people DM you, you can always go down, but you can't go up. So let's crush it this month. I love you guys. This is recorded. I'll send it to the group chat with the verbiage and all the things next week. Okay. Bye, everyone.